How y'all doing? For my next review, there is going to be another comic series, dinosaur related. There from Red 5 Comics comes Neozoic. Okay, now let's see, read the back of this. Here, in a gritty sci-fi fantasy world where dinosaurs did not become extinct, human history has unfolded side by side with the giant reptiles. The greatest of the dinosaur slayers are known as the Predator Defense League. When an act of kindness causes thousands of the beasts to destroy the walls of the Mananti city, it leaves culture versus culture, mammal versus reptile, friend versus friend, and father versus daughter. I'm going to tell you up front, this has not been my, cup of tea here. I mean, this is an example of a really good concept. Humans, you're living in a world of dinosaurs, and your main focus is a group of people who are trained to fight against the beasts to keep from the city, but bad execution. And as you can see there, you got a picture of the main character here, with the dinosaur front, and that's it's a start. It attracts you to it. And as I read through this, I got this first volume. There's a few more out there. I don't know if they're collected in trades, but it's the only one as far as I know. And as it goes by, it's really not that great. So, as the preface in the back tells you, Predator Defense League protects this city, apparently the only human city around, currently, from the dinosaurs, and something happens. There's this pale albino girl who was picked up in a huge mess of dinosaurs. She's taken back to the temple, and unfortunately this causes a lot of dinosaurs to come by and destroy the city. And apparently this is all sort of a plot by this other human-like race of pale skin. I think of them kind of like drow elves, but in the opposite skin color. And, you get the gist of what it's going for, but just badly done. First of all, let's talk about the world. Okay, it's an alternate Earth universe where, it shows kind of silliness. Apparently, these these aliens interfered with an asteroid that supposedly hits the Earth 65 million years ago. Instead, something happens, it knocks it off just 1 meter off course, and that was enough to, instead of hit the Earth, it hits the moon. So that supposedly presents a new world where humans evolved with dinosaurs, as I said, non-avian dinosaurs dying out, and, and then humans arise from that. From someone who studied the subject on an amateur level, I kind of find this rather silly. This is something a kid would have thought of, one who has somewhat of a rudimentary idea of the events that happened, but wanted to go his own way, and was just not quite creative enough. And again, this is a good premise. Not for what is actually presented here, but the idea of, okay, let's just say instead of modern animals today, we have the dinosaurs from the past, or something along the lines. And how would our world shape with that? I mean, we shaped our world with the animals that live by. I think Rome, for example. Great civilization, and we've adopted the symbolism of the animals into the our art, our sculptures. Think Rome with the Imperial Eagle. Think Rome with the Colosseum. And, when they not only just, hunted man, but hunted many beasts as well. Many animals, and some of them went extinct because of that. That's just one example. Egypt, which I have seen people take Egyptian style look. James Gurney's of Dinotopia did a few through paintings, and to where Egyptians, with the Egyptian gods, they have the animal heads like Sobek, alligator, Anubis for the with the jackal, Horus with the hawk, which actually is a dinosaur pair, but still replaced with dinosaur heads. And you think about how that shapes the culture, about that. So again, there's an interesting comment, and you really, really do this well. You have to do research on how civilizations develop, how technologies develop, how they go against their environments, particularly about this. And unfortunately, that type of research, that substance, does not translate well into this. You have a world that, okay, from looks at this, what do you think the technological culture, technological level of this is? Probably medieval style, which is where it's going for. But I think this is a case of, as the creators who did this, script by Paul Enns, art by Jay Coram, colors by Jesse Lamb, letters by Troy Pateri. It seems to be whatever they kind of want, just to you know, for instance, you see an example when the main characters are out in the open. They're fighting. They're using bows. Or smoke bombs. One has an acid shooting from her armband. Of course, they use swords, and the swords designs are kind of silly. And okay, it's not, yeah, I know it's fantasy, but still, where they have these big blades with holes cut out in the middle of the blade. Yeah, that's very functional. It's one thing to dig in groups to take off the weight and give it a little bit of structure, but to pull out full holes through the blade, trying to stick it on something and make it caught and not very much functional. Okay, so it looks like they have sort of medieval style technology, but one character, let's see if I can find it, looks like he's carrying a shotgun. So let's see. Well, okay. But apparently, his first day on the mission here, and he looks like he's carrying an actual gun, a big shotgun type of device. And of course it gets jammed. And so they finish it off by other means. And later, apparently this is advanced enough society to where you see these medieval technology, but they have handheld walkie-talkies, handheld, radios to communicate with each other. In the city itself, you see news reporters, they have video footage, and they post it on big screens, kind of like modern technology, but no, it's like they just hodgepodge stuff in, and it really kind of takes away what the type of world it is. What are you going to go? You're going to go for an advanced technological society? Because the world would be much different if they developed these levels of technology. Again, that's where where the creators could benefit from, what level of, how would humans, first of all, humans living with dinosaurs, I could probably pass that in the same way you watch science fiction and they're doing faster than light travel. So you just say, okay, they did. Just skipped on that. If it's not part of the story, then you don't have to think about it. Just for the sake of the argument, they did. What other obstacles do they have and how did they get over it? This one is just, I think the world's just sort of, first of all, these are the only humans. Apparently the city has millions of people in this one city. And the Predator Defense League is only from a handful of people, probably one or two groups. So, like, come on, really? You have an whole army. And if you got one guy with a shotgun, why are you all still using swords and knives just for the fact of the coolness level of it? We did away with swords and all that as part of armies, as when we went to guns. In fact, if you have a gun, you have the means to, especially with elephant guns and stuff like that, you could probably take out, many dinosaurs with that. But if you want to do medieval style, then yeah, you have to take out some of those technologies, except for rare occasions. You have to explain why they have this. Okay, maybe I have to go detailed, but this just doesn't do it right. It's just a case of they just happen to have these technologies, just for, I guess, the coolness of it, for lack of better words. Now, there's that problem. The art style, I say, you can see it's sort of derived, especially from slideshow, you can see where it's derived from the whole manga style, and the action as well. The action is okay, but some of it, again, for instance, this one right here. Guy is attacking a dinosaur with knives coming out of his boots in an impractical way. Not a very smart thing. And then there's a part that really gets to me, as well as anyone who's trying to get into this concept, and it's the dinosaurs themselves that you've seen from the slideshow. They're kind of dorky looking. And also a little bit inconsistent. It's like, once you see the face of like the T-Rex here on this cover, there's the way his eyes are, the way his mouth is, he almost draws all dinosaurs like that. Particularly the meat eaters and the sauropods, the long neck ones, and even the duckbill dinosaurs. It's like every dinosaur has that same face, same teeth. Yeah, some of the planet eaters got these sharp teeth and all that. You give them almost all of them the same face. The only slightly different ones is like the one Stegosaurus they show, which even in the end, I think it was killed. They show one of the horned dinosaurs. It's like the style seems very. It's like you only have 2 or 3 designs and just apply that to everything. Same with the characters' designs as well. With a couple exceptions, the men are built and he's slender. I don't know, if this is the front of a man and he's kind of bent like this, it's kind of like he's always curved back, got, perfect washboard stomach. It's a weird way, it's like, not everyone's sort of designed like that. Let's see. I guess in point, last page here. You see, they have the sort of concave torsos on two of the men here. And of course, there's again a couple of exceptions. You got the big fat guy. Women are drawn similarly the same. In fact, there's like two female characters that just were color swap the same design. I would say, I'm not going to say it's well, it's a lazy decision, because I look at the artwork here. Is this the detail of what they present the characters in? They could have been research that gave more uniqueness to people, but they didn't. So it was kind of an inconsistent world, you know, where technology is like, okay, we're going to decide this part's going to be medieval looking, this one will have high technology. And if you have that, what do you have as a power source? I mean, you got handheld radios to communicate with people. You have, but there's no common lights or everything. It doesn't really explain that. Okay, you can rationalize ideas like maybe they preserve electricity for certain areas, but it kind of feels like steampunk. In fact, let me sum up everything about this. This is what happens when you take a concept and you ruin it with style over substance. Without the substance, the world feels inconsistent, and because it's like steampunk, where it's more of a visual look than a practicality. It's like steampunk seems to derive itself from the style and look of the Victorian steam age technologies. I would like this if it was more how like Jules Verne's was. Like, you can imagine this as being, using this technology to do all these incredible things that we take for granted now with other means of technologies, like like the use of electricity or nuclear reactors. Jules Verne's did the 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It involves a submarine, which nowadays, well, we had those and they had it back then, but ours are more advanced. We have better use of a fuel source and technology and all that. But it's the reason why we don't stay in the Victorian period any longer. But we do like the certain aspects and styles of it, so we want to take that and make it our little world where it's just cool. I think it's trying to do that with this. We just want to take certain elements, got people, badass people with swords and knives and arrows and all that, fighting dinosaurs. Okay, I could get behind that, but it's just badly done. So I picked this up after it was a trade collection there, and I just can say it's pretty disappointed. I mean, the action's okay, but some of these could have done very well. Like, look at this scene right here. They found this forest city up in the trees. I mean, I can't say, if I was, I don't want to put people down, because you can see that, with this level of artwork, they put their guts, I'm sure they, put some effort into it. I couldn't draw like this. But their choices of what they put in, as far as what the story is, what the characters look like, all that, I just think is, I don't know if lazy is necessarily the right word. I don't know how these people were working on this, but I've seen one done better, and that is Xenozoic Tales by Mark Schultz. His wonderful classic style artwork, and in fact, they put in a post-apocalyptic world where, for some reason, after this event, dinosaurs came back and everything, so people were living afterwards. So you can see where the technology came from. It's just trying to bring up the past, with what people who survived the outcome left. This one is a case of humans survive with dinosaurs, and humans are building a city, and the city has a little of inconsistent level of technology. I can't understand how these people have certain levels of technology, but they don't have others, because of that. Sorry if I'm kind of a inconsistent, feel kind of a jumpy rant here, but I don't know, if you ever pick this up and look through it, you kind of see what I mean. I mean, again, the dinosaurs, again, look at the slideshow again, or just look at Google the images. About that, again, if we put some substance into it. Okay, that obviously if this going to takes place in modern world, 65 million years after the meteor hit, and humans derived from it, which is where it takes place. I understand you want to do different design of dinosaurs, but not like this. I mean, one of them, and again, I think I have the picture in the slideshow. Okay, here we have these Parasaurolophus. Sorry for the glare. You know, oh, okay, you reckon you pretty dinosaurs. So this is Parasaurolophus, a duck-billed dinosaur, and they're not so bad looking by itself. But let's see. But then there's this one. Take a Parasaurolophus head and put it on a sauropod's body. It's stuff like that that takes it away. One piece that I did was there's a piece of artwork by oh shoot, what was that? Forget his name. The Predator Dinosaurs of the World. He was not Peter Dodson, Doug Henderson. No. But anyway, there's one paleontologist who does a lot of his artwork here. He did this one drawing, not a painting, but a drawing of hypothesizing life of the dinosaurs if the meteor didn't hit. You have different ceratopsids with different horn arrangements. You have descendants of Tyrannosaurus rex that have no arms because they now become vestigial organs, like the back legs of whales, because it had, as the T-Rex arms got smaller, they're now no longer being used. In fact, they're either little bitty nubs or just not there anymore. It's just completely it has two legs and that's it. It's stuff like that type of thing that could have enriched the world, and still, okay, you don't have to make it photorealistic in that sense. You can still have a sort of a cartoony style, but I think it's just putting in large bestial animals roughly resembling dinosaurs, but they're just doing whatever they want with it, and that's just not the appeal of dinosaurs to me. And of course, there's some people I found out that they take anything large and that doesn't look strictly like any modern animal, and they will call it dinosaur. Like there's one video game that came out earlier this year, and it's supposedly I forget the name of it. Something Horizon, or sorry about that. But the point is that this world takes place in a post-apocalypse where all the machines replace the animals, and they have these various different structures, but I have people in the comment section calling them dinosaurs, even though they don't look strictly like dinosaurs, but they don't look anything like modern animals, so they're just going to call them dinosaurs because it sounds cooler that way. And I think they kind of, no, dinosaurs are their own group. They come in these various forms, yes. You have sauropods, they're very large, long tail and neck. You have theropods, mostly bipeds, they're usually carnivorous in most cases. Ceratopsians, which are the frilled horned ones. So there's these reasons we classify them as such. But this is just, we're just going to take some familiar elements. You've seen sauropod, we'll put some long neck dinosaurs, we'll give them the same, fierce eyes and teeth as a T-Rex. And we'll do the same thing with this Parasaurolophus, with a few exceptions. It's this case of, this could have been executed better, and it just isn't. Sorry, I mean, you can check it out if you want. Everyone's got guilty pleasures. I mean, I read Vampire Hunter D, and I grew up in a kid in the 80s, which had Dino Riders, which is, if you don't know, is the idea of a group of humans who's being chased by these animal-headed aliens. They crash land in prehistoric Earth, through a time-traveling device, malfunction, and now that you have the humans living peacefully with the dinosaurs, you have the aliens, mind-controlling their dinosaurs, they put weapons on them and duke it out. So, I'm not against such things, but I prefer better execution. So, if you're a paleontologist, that likes dinosaurs, but don't like it when it gets stupid, I don't recommend this at all. So there you go. Sorry, it's one of my few negative reviews of such things, but Neozoic, you got your own taste. Go ahead. If you like the concept and you don't mind all the, things that they done with it as I complain about, go right ahead. Nothing stop you, but I just can't get into it. There's a few other issues. I know there's another few issues after this one published, but it doesn't seem to caught on. The website itself doesn't seem to want to do, tell much about it. And I don't see much in the comic book stands. This was published about, 2015, 2016? No, sorry, take it back. 2007, 2009. These are the first 8 issues. So, yeah, there you go. Thank you all for watching. You have a nice day.